Greetings and welcome to the Halloween edition of the Sliders Review. And I'm here today to talk to you about Chucky Season 1, Episode 3. My God, this might just be the darkest of all the episodes so far. I could not believe some of the stuff. This is probably by far the best episode ever so far. And there's only been 3 episodes, and the other 2 have been really good so far. But this one felt more like, what I still haven't seen the Child Play movies, but I've seen clips online. This seems to be more in tone of what the movies were kind of like, especially towards the end. Oh my God. Like, I could not believe it and stuff. So, like, this episode is entitled, I Like to Be Hugged. And so, we get Jake and we get Chucky, and Chucky is grooming Jake. And so, like, he's, like, telling him, like, you can't be afraid to kill, and, everybody's, like, evil, and it just takes, like, something to, like, push you in that direction and stuff like that. And Jake is constantly just like, asking him questions and asking, like, he doesn't know if he can, like, necessarily do it and, stuff like that. And, he asks, like, Chucky, like, what happened to him and stuff. And, well, Chucky assumes that, like, he's talking about, like, how a living person's soul got into a doll. He talks about, like, voodoo and, like, stuff like that. And he's like, no, like, your first kill, like, what caused you to want to do that and everything and stuff. And so Chucky just starts going into kind of like what reminiscing about like his first time. We see like the flashback, and I like how they do flashbacks, because sometimes when they do a flashback, it's kind of like you never know if it's an actual like flashback or not. But they're doing it in kind of like this grainy old film, and they have actual like film things like on the side, like, So I like that visual aesthetic. And so like we see little Charles, and he's at a birthday party, and he has the knife, and he's just slashing away at the cake and stuff like that with his weird little grin. And so like, whatchamacallit? So like, so then he's teaching Jake, how you have to kill people and stuff. He's telling him how you have to pick your target, how you have to follow that person, how you have to get that person alone, and you gotta know exactly where you're gonna like kill that person. And then he starts asking Jake, like, are you a stabbing kind of person, or are you a strangulation kind of person and stuff. Like, I swear to God, every time he talks with that smirk on his face, it's just like hilarious. It's a little doll with like the cutest little face and stuff. And so like he tells Jake, like, it's hard for me to strangle people because like, I have like these tiny little hands and stuff. And so and then so we see like a little montage type thing of like actual Jake. He's actually stalking Lexi and everything. We see her jogging. She has like a blue hoodie on and these black stocking looking things with these black short shorts. And so she's just a jogging, and we see Jake is constantly following her, hiding behind like, the bushes and stuff. And he's tracking her phone through like the GPS thing on his phone. And so he feels he's ready to do it, and he has like the knife in hand. And then when he sees her with her back turned, he's like running up to her about to stab her, only it's not Lexi, it's Junior. Yeah, so like Junior is dressed identical to like Lacey and stuff, because they were both jogging. And so I guess he must have had like Lacey's phone and everything. And of course, it was camera trickery for us, because we didn't know, because the camera kept focusing on Lacey and it never showed Junior and stuff. I love it when shows and movies do that, like, but it has been done to death, so it is getting a little stale, but I still like it. And so Junior is just like, stay away from me, you freak, and what's wrong with you? But he doesn't see the knife in like in Jake's hand. And so he's just like, just stay away from me and all this other crap. So then we see Junior and he meets up with Lacey and like he just tells her straight up, like, I think you need to apologize to like Jake and everything, because he sees that Jake's a little weird and he's afraid he might do something to her. And he tells her, you went too far, like you impersonated my uncle and everything and stuff like that. And she just doesn't care. Like this girl is just like a skank. And it's just like she does not care. Like she is truly evil. Like we know Chucky's evil because he goes around killing people and stuff, but she's a different kind of like evil and stuff. And so like at school, Jake is at his locker and we see Devin sneaking up behind him. I gotta say, when it comes to Devin, I'm starting to wonder about Devin a little bit. Not that he's LGBT, because it's clear that he has a crush on like Jake, but he just won't let his feelings be known because he's so young and people might make fun of him at school and stuff. But there's just something odd about him. Like he's always like creepy, like when he's around, and he has this weird stare all the time. I have wondered, with human souls going into dolls and then the doll soul can go back into the human and possess other humans, I wonder if he's possessed by like somebody in the Child Play franchise. Like maybe like just somebody, I'm just because it's just he's just so odd and stuff. And there's other things that make me think about that when we get to the end of like the episode and stuff. So like he telling Jake, I just wish I could have been there for you, protect you, and like all this other stuff. And he puts like his hand on Jake's shoulder, but Jake kind of like roughs it off and just kind of like freaks out a little bit and say like he has to go and stuff like that. Either Jake is just very like nervous being around him, or how you're around your crush and it's kind of hard and you can't really think of stuff to say. So it could be like anxiety or something like that. But who knows. But anyways, we get a scene with Lacey's parents, and Caroline, Lacey's sister, is freaking out. She's constantly screaming and having a fit. And even though like Lacey can't stand her sister that much, she still takes care of her because she knows she has problems and stuff. And so like she's all like, she probably just wants one of her two, like her shades or her other item that makes her happy. But she don't want none of that. She wants Chucky. After playing with him in Halloween, all she wants is like Chucky. And she's hollering and she's screaming and she just wants Chucky. And so like this causes Lacey to go to Jake's, Junior's place and talk to Jake. Jake is in the garage with all these bladed weapons, trying to figure out which is going to be his weapon to kill people with, or at least kill Lacey with. So as he's picking all those, he has something in his hand. Not really sure what it is, but it looks like a machete with a curved hook at the end. And so she comes into the garage and like she's just being rude to him and snarky like always. Like that's just how she is. And so like she is trying to apologize, but it's not going on very well. And so like it's hard for her just to say I'm sorry. It's hard for her to just be nice and everything. Like it's just so difficult for her. And as she's trying to apologize, it's like a half-handed like apology and stuff. Um, but it's still condescending him as she's trying to apologize, and it's hard for her to even get the words out like I'm sorry, like that. You know what I'm saying? Like she just can't do it, but she does eventually do it and stuff. But she has an ulterior motive. She wants Chucky. And Jake's all like, why do you want Chucky for? And she's all like, because my little sister wants him and she won't stop acting stupid until like, she gets like that doll. And Jake is just kind of like, no, like I'm not going to give you the doll. Like it's not for sale, nothing like that and stuff. And so she leaves like, just like upset, pissy and still like her rude little self. Well, Devin's mom, the detective, she goes to Jake's school and talking to Jake's sister, because she, not sister, but teacher. She's asking the teacher, if Jake is kind of like, like something off with him and stuff like that. And the teacher doesn't feel comfortable talking about it. But but Devin's mom is kind of like, there's been like two murders, like, within like a week of each other. And like, Jake is been in the like facility of like all those murders and stuff. And so and so like the teacher decides she's gonna have a talk with the parents, well, the guardians of Jake, his uncle and aunt, and Lacey's, what is it, Lacey or Lexi? I don't know. I'm gonna call her Lacey for now. Or is it Lexi? God, I forgot just to quit. Talking to her parents. And so like she tells them like, how Lacey's been, is it Lacey or Lexi? Crap, dude. Anyway, she tells them how like, that girl's been like picking on Jake and all this other stuff. The dad is just kind of like, what are you talking about? And the mom's like, this cannot be true. My daughter is like a saint and blah, blah, blah. The teacher, boy, she whips out that cell phone and shows her the video to shut Lacey's mom up. I'm gonna call her Lexi for now. I think it's Lexi. To shut Lexi's mom up. And it shuts her up. And so, like, back with Chucky and Jake, Chucky's disappointed. He's all like, well, he's not really disappointed. He's a little disappointed, but he's all like, you had the opportunity to kill her and you didn't do it. You choked up and everything. And Jake's all like, I just can't do it, man. And he's all like, well, I'm going to have to do it for you and everything. And so, like, he tells him, it'd be cool, man. Like, I'll do it for you. I'll kill her for you and stuff like that. And then so Jake's all like, well, if he's going to do it, I don't have to do it. So he goes to Lexi. What's her name? I know her last name is Cross. So he goes to her and he's all like, I'll give you Chucky so you can get to your sister, blah, blah. And so she's all kind of like, oh, like, wow, like, thanks. You know what I'm saying? Like, she wasn't really expecting that. And so she's slightly acting nice, but not really. And so, like, then Caroline's happy to have him. She gives him a big old hug. She tells her mom, well, he wants a hug from you, too. And then she tells Lacey, she wants a hug from you, too. And everything. So Chucky hugs Lacey, and I was just like, oh Lord, have mercy. So at some point in time, Devin's mom is questioning Devin, telling him that it's not a good idea for him to hang around Jake. She thinks Jake might be dangerous, and Devin's just kind of like, he's like cool and all this stuff, but the mom is like very adamant that she wants her son to stay away from Jake. And Devin's like giving his mom like lip and attitude and stuff, which pisses her off. I have to say, the woman who plays Devin's mom, I just don't buy her as a cop. She's too nice sounding. Like, her voice is too sweet. Even when she tries to sound like me, she needs to have like, she doesn't like strike me as like a detective and everything. And then so like at some point in time, Lacey has like a party and a bunch of kids from school are there, and they all have headphones on for some bizarre reason. I don't know if this is like a new thing people do when they party, to just put like Beats headphones on or something like that, but it's probably because Caroline is there, and they probably don't want to like disturb her, wake her up, and nothing like that. And so that's probably why they have the music going into their headset. And so like Lacey, when she's there, she's like kind of like dancing with another guy, and this other guy's like into her, and like she's just like bumping in the grinding, and this is pissing Junior off big time. And then so like then she stops dancing with him and she starts dancing with Junior, which kind of annoys like the new guy. And so Junior, he's upset and talking about like, what was that about, and like stuff like that, and she's telling him to dance, and he's like, I don't want to dance. And so like then like when it comes to Caroline, she's like sleeping in bed trying to, and Chucky's all like, hey kid, I'm finna go kill your sister. I'm like, huh? She's all like, I'm sleepy and stuff like that. He's like, you snooze, you lose, and everything. I'm like, oh my God, dude. Like, it just cracks me up, the stuff that he says. And so, like, so at this time, Jake is at the cemetery at his dad's grave, and he's just like all sad and upset and just standing at his dad's grave. So meanwhile, Caroline goes to like Lacey. God, what is her name? Ugh. So like she tells her that she can't find Chucky and that Chucky wants to kill you, and she's all like, Caroline, why would you say that stuff? He's like, because that's what Chucky said and everything. And so she puts Caroline back to sleep, and then so she's going to look for Chucky. So it's kind of like sweet that she's wanting to look for the doll that wants to kill her, but she don't believe he's alive. So she's constantly walking around the house, smoking weed, can't find him. And in this, we see like a flashback, like of little Charles and his first kill. He wakes up when he's asleep, and he hears these weird noises. So he goes down the steps, and he see a man constantly stabbing his dad like over and over. This scares like him, it scares his mom. She takes him, they run into his room, he grabs his little pocket knife, and then they hide in the closet. So then we get back to like Lacey and them, and so Lacey looks into Caroline and she's asleep, and then so she goes in her room and she's smoking her weed, and then boom, it happens. Chucky is on the rampage. He like mistakes this, like when he comes around the corner, he mistakes this the guy Lacey was dancing with for Lacey. He's like, sorry kid, but whatever. And then he just starts stabbing that dude over and over and over in the back. And I was shocked and surprised they killed like a kid, like, well, a teenager, like on screen. Like you rarely see that because it's not supposed to like happen, you know. And I have to say, they're still kind of weak on like the blood. You expect more blood to come out his back than that. Like I've seen more blood in Scream. And so like, I mean, a slasher, the TV show, can have all this blood. Why can't they? So anyway, he kills that dude. You know, he goes into the room with Lacey, and then he just jumps on her back and he's strangling her. Like he's grabbing onto her necklace and he's just squeezing as tight as he can. And it's a big brawl. Like they're constantly going back and forth as he's on her back, and she doesn't know what or who this person is. It's just somebody like choking the crap out of her, right? And by the way, all the kids downstairs are like dancing, and they got the headphones in, and they cannot hear nothing. So when the little dude died, they didn't know because they was just like dancing and listening with the music and stuff. So Chucky is constantly just strangling Lacey like as hard as he can, and then she bangs him up against the window and flips him over to see that it's Chucky the doll, and she is shocked and surprised. So he has his butcher knife in hand, and he says something to her. I have no idea what, because it's beeped out, and I don't understand why they beeped it out, because one, it's on the app, two, it's on Sci-Fi, and Sci-Fi is allowed to say like cuss words. They even allowed to drop the F word on the show. So he must have called her the B or C word, and so they beeped that out. And he just walks towards her with the butcher knife, and then as that's going on, like the wind from the window like causes her weed to like set the curtains on fire. So then the entire room is like ablaze, and we just see Chucky behind the fire with his cackling laugh, like, with the butcher knife in hand as he's coming towards Lacey and stuff. And I was just like, oh my God, she is going to get it. And so like then he said something interesting. He's all like, this is for hurting Jake's feelings or something like that. And when I was on YouTube just a couple of days ago, probably yesterday, I saw a clip for the, I think, what was it, 2017-19 Chucky remake movie, and some fans said they was upset because this Chucky doesn't just kill to kill, he kills to protect like the new Andy and stuff, and they were like really disappointed with that. So it feels kind of the same way with this. And then we see like the flashback again of like the killer going into like Charles's room, opens up the door. Charles's mom is already dead. He killed her, and he's all like, I helped. And then the killer man is all like, kid, I got so much to teach you. You gotta cover your tracks. And then he walks down the street and everything. And then we hear Chucky's voice as he was telling Jake, some killers are just born and others just need like a push. And then we just see Chucky's face like cackling and the flames and the whole house is now setting on fire and stuff. Then it cuts to like Jake and he's telling his dad Grave that, he's sorry. He's so sorry. And so I don't think now Jake is gonna be this whole vengeful killing person. He just doesn't have it in him. But then the interesting thing happened. It pans from his dad's grave and then it pans on over to Charles's grave, Charles Ray Lee. And I'm just like, whoa. So like his grave is near where Jake's mother and father grave is at. So what's gonna go on with this? And then it just ends. We have no idea if Lacey is dead or not because like it doesn't show her like dying on screen. It would be kind of odd if they were to kill her because she is, one of those characters who probably is going to end up helping. Because when you see the trailers, it seems like she's going to help Jake with the rest of the kids and help get rid of Chucky. But I don't know, man. It could have been just a misleading trailers like a month or so ago. And so, like, that would be kind of interesting if, like, she did somehow survive that, and then now she knows he's alive. Pretty much everybody should now know he's alive. But then again, they can't blame this on Jake because he wasn't even at the party. You know what I'm saying? And so they might blame Junior for this and stuff, since Junior is related to Jake's dad, and Junior maid is the one who died and stuff. And so who knows? But God, man, this was like a dark episode and stuff. Like this was just a twisted, dark, disturbing episode. That wasn't that spooky. Alright, well, I shall talk to y'all later. Bye.